With YouTube channel. In this screen recording, I am going to discuss with you the first chapter, first 5 pages of the first chapter from the novel 1984 by George Orwell. This novel was written in 1948 and was published in 1949 as well. And it has the kind of imagination of Orwell, which is futuristic imagination, but it centers on the dystopian concept. It does talk about totalitarianism and other things which are related to that, and how that totalitarianism was implemented in an imaginative state called Oceania in this novel, and what kind of things were discussed there. So, we shall be talking about the introductory chapter of this novel. So, let us proceed and see what things we can discuss here about this novel. So, 1984 by George Orwell, and that is the kind of building construction that is available there. And then part 1, and after that, the next page will begin with the chapter 1. So, let's talk about different aspects here in this chapter. The first page, the first paragraph that I want to read for you people. It was a bright cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Winston Smith, his chin nuzzled into his breast in an effort to escape the wild wind, slipped quickly through the glass doors of Victory Mansions, though not quickly enough to prevent a swirl of gritty dust from entering along with him. This is the opening of the novel, and this first of all tells us about the time. The time is the month of April, which is in England, a refreshing month, a spring month, and it's the daytime that is 13 hours. It means that it is almost 1 p.m. in London, and that thing is being pointed out first of all. It is the timing of the story that is being told to us, and then is Winston Smith, who is the protagonist of the story. He is shown in a position where his chin is nuzzled into his breast. That means he is trying to hide his face because of the situation in the city, and that situation is about the weather conditions, that the wind is blowing very fast, and because of that, sand or the dust is also rising, and that dust possibly enters everywhere. So Winston Smith tries to pass through the doors of Victory Mansions as quickly as possible, but still some of the dust passes through that. So that's a kind of dustiness available at that time in London that is being pointed out. Then the word Victory Mansions. Victory Mansions reminds us of the kind of celebration or effort to glorify the kind of victory that the government or the state of that country had achieved, and they therefore have named certain buildings or areas with respect to that victory. This victory is not against the enemy, it is the victory against the people of Oceania. So a state wins against against his own people, and that is the kind of victory which is being mentioned out. It is a kind of irony that instead of winning the war and battles against the enemy countries or making the lives of the people safer, it is about the victory of that state against the people. So, this is the kind of thing that we pass through. And in the second passage, although number of things have been talked about, but we will be more concerned about two things in this passage. First of all, the kind of posters which are available everywhere. These posters display a man with for example, we can say that he's got the heavy black mustache and ruggedly handsome features, and he appears to be of 45. This is something which is the appearance of a person whose photograph is there in the posters, and everybody feels happy or sad or upset because of these photos. They are so huge in number, in quantity, that one is all the time surrounded by these photos. So these posters are being used here as a kind of propaganda campaign in order to let the people know that Big Brother is there and he's watching everyone. But the second part in the paragraph is about the hate week, and that hate week is the number of days which are used to commemorate or to celebrate the kind of hate which the people should show against the enemy. And it is the kind of psychology being developed through propaganda that the enemy should be hated. practices are done, functions and celebrations are done in order to celebrate this hate week. So the way the state would like to use its own people against the enemy in order to show the hate that also is done in that state. And then brother is watching you, that can be related to Foucault's concept of panopticon, where he described that in the jail, prison, one can watch all the prisoners without letting them know. From those top places, one can have a good watch all the time on all the prisoners. So that's the kind of watch that is spread on the people of Oceania, that they are being watched constantly, they are being listened constantly, and in that way the control has been used through technology, which most of the time empowers the rich people, the kind of capitalist. This is empowered. And as a result, here also the same kind of demonstration is being made in the story, that there is one person who's ruling over the country, and that big person is watching over the people all the time, so that people may not be able to do any other thing. So this concept of surveillance, which was quite in the novel, is available nowadays in the modern world. So seen in this context, George Orwell imagines the future, what it's going to be, and according to him, the future is going to be the future of surveillance of humanity. And as a result, this aspect of the novel makes it modern as well. Proceeding further, the voice of the person who speaks through the speakers of the telescreens, his voice is very good one, and the writers use the word fruity voice for this purpose. And that fruity voice is very interesting, very exotic, and very influencing as well. That person goes to speak, and in the telescreen, something is propagated that pig iron has been discovered, pig iron has been produced, and that it's shown to people that a very good kind of progress is being made in that way. This voice comes to a telescreen. This telescreen cannot be muted. It can, however, the voice can be lowered down, but it cannot be closed at all. This is the kind of telescreen which was situated at every house, at every place, at every market, so that the people could be seen, could be watched, and telescreen was also used for the sake of propaganda. So surveillance is being explained with the help of telescreen, which was used for this purpose. And alongside that, we have a description of the protagonist, that he is a smallish, frail figure, meagerness of his body, etc., etc. So he's not shown to be a person who is very powerfully built, physically strong. It's not the case at all. His face is sanguine, that means red in color. His hair is blonde, and his skin has become rough because of use of the rough soap and the blunt razor on his face again and again. So we are more concerned with the technology that is being used by the authority, by the powerful state in order to control the people. And according to the technology of 1948, it was the telescreens which were used to not only propagate the ideology of the state, but also to control the people by by looking at them constantly. So surveillance continues, and that surveillance of the social or the society, social comments is being used here, is being shown here. That makes this novel really a modern text. And similarly, if we proceed further and read that colored page once again, we will be able to see that again the thing is repeated. The big brother is watching you. That is repetition again and again. It goes to show that actually this was the thing which was propagated, and this was the very thing which the people had to follow. So the role of the machine, technology, and the police all combined together in order to propagate only one message, that the big brother is watching. So it means that people should always think that they are being watched, they are being listened, they are no more free at all. So this is the kind of surveillance state which is being imagined by the writer in this part of the book. Ingsoc is another underlined word, an important word here in this paragraph, which goes to show that the police is all the time looking at the people, sometimes through helicopter, sometimes through the telescreen, or anybody can be viewed, can be listened to. INCSOC is the abbreviation of English socialism, and all this was being done in the name of English socialism. When the people look at the helicopter, which is, roaming about in the streets and watching the people, it is said that it was the police patrol snooping into the people's windows. The patrols uh, did not matter, however, only the thought police mattered. So, according to the writer, thought police was more strong as compared to the surveillance police. Thought police was stronger because they could find out what a person is thinking and how a person should think, and they would guide, propagate, and lead the people to think in a specific way. So the thoughts of the people were also controlled. This aspect of the novel makes it quite modern, because these days also we can see that the modern states are trying to see what their people are doing through different gadgetry, the cell phone, the kind of laptops or tablets. These are all the instruments which record our thinking, our searches, our opinion, and social media is another tool where we can be seen doing whatever is being done by us. So in that way, the extension of telescreen into these mini screens is the modern age reflection, is the gift of the modern age, where nobody is safe, everybody is being watched. Why being watched? So that the control can be established. Okay, so in this way, the old telescreens now can be understood as something different in shape of cell phones, and the thought police is the police who will be establishing the guidelines. So in such a situation, Winston Smith was living, and we read the line here about him that Winston kept his back turned to the telescreen. It means that Winston was also aware that he is being watched, but he would try to sit in such a position that the telescreen should be at his back, not in the front. So this goes to show that probably he didn't like this, that he should be watched. So this kind of thinking in him is the thinking which will prove to be the seed of rebellion in him. He's the person who doesn't like, he wants to be free. And so this is a kind of rebellious element in him, and the same thing will be definitely a cause of his troubles in future in the next coming chapters. So he was working in the Ministry of Truth. He was working as a editor of the books, and he could then definitely change what he thought not to be good. So he didn't like his work, although, but he continued to do his work as was. And so in this way, we reach to page number 6. From here, we shall be proceeding further in some next video, but so far it is okay to have short portions of this chapter from page 1 to 5. To see you in the same next video from the next pages of this chapter. Hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching.